Good morning, everybody, and this is your DAX day trade setup for today. So DAX is starting to ease off quite nicely, and I would expect it to come and test the neckline of the head and shoulders. This wasn't really a decent test. It was a test of the 155. We've got the crossover brewing. We've got the oscillators pointing to the downside and separated. So they start crossing over like this. That is going to give me all the confirmation I need for this head and shoulders trade. So at the moment we are waiting for noise to come out today. We've got the US CPI coming out, and there's a couple of other things coming out today. Just get there quickly. So we've got a whole lot of CPI numbers coming out in the US. I lie. So it's really just the Bank of England that are speaking. So there's some more noise there. And then the German CPI is also coming out today at 8 o'clock. So that will be just before the market's coming out. So there's a lot of data coming out around inflation that's going to influence the DAX. So you need to be very careful and just pay attention to your levels and watch what's going to transpire. If we move on to the 3 hour, you can see trend is up currently. You can see what I mean by this level not being tested. We drop below it and on it, and then eventually, you could argue that that pin bar tested it, but I would have preferred not to drop below a level like this, because often when that happens, this is exactly what transpires. We come back to test it. Oscillators group to the downside, so definitely not an area I want to be short. It would be against trend as well. Patience is still key right now, and as soon as we get to the hour, you'll see a little bit more. So pretty big drop yesterday. But everything's relative. Hey, well, 1%, 137 point drop yesterday. So that was a fairly large drop below the 155. So you've got a signal here on the 8th hour that you've got a trend reversal, but on the higher time frames, you don't have that. So you just got to be very careful about chasing this short. For me, I want the higher time frames indicating short as well before chasing short. So markets are not designed to fall, they're designed to rise. So pullbacks, you need to see pullbacks. Doesn't matter how big they are, but you need to see pullbacks as opportunities to buy. So that's kind of where I am at the moment. I'm definitely looking for this 13442 as it stands right now. The other thing that may transpire, and we'll need to do this on the 15 minute. So the other thing that may transpire is after the CPI data, you can see there's quite a strong level here, and that is at 13,537. So what you may see is a squirt above it, pull back to test something in this area, and there's lots of tails here that would come back to test, and then the continuation to the upside. So that is the other thing that may transpire today as well. And I do think, yeah, there's a gap right up the top here. And just seeing if there's any other gaps. And there's another gap all the way up here around 13,760. 13,762. So there are a few little gaps to the upside which would act as magnets, but you probably find a few to the downside as well. Anyway, I'm not going to worry too much about that at the moment. So the idea at the moment is watch this area, 13,537. Let's say the CPI is bang on the number for the German CPI we're talking about now. Is bang on the number, and there's nothing else really noisy, and that the speeches that are coming out by the Bank of England is also like nothing earth-shattering. Then we're going to wait for the US CPI, and then I would expect us just to continue sliding a bit. But 13,442 is definitely something I would want to be paying attention to. So if we do get down to there, looking for an opportunity to buy into that, and your stop level should be below the shoulder. So that's going to be, well, it's not quite the shoulder, it's a previous retest, but that's 137 point stop loss. What you could do is you could also drop below the shoulder, but I think this area here is below the moving averages, so that's a fairly decent stop area. So stop area for me would be below 13,330. So that's kind of what I'm looking at, but I'm looking at a bigger picture here. I'm not really looking for a sort of a long scalp. I'm anticipating that this is a rounding bottom, head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders type setup, and we are looking to find a base, and this is the area where we need to find the base. So definitely 13442 is what I need to pay attention to. Could drop down further, could drop down to one of these tails here as well. But if it does that, then the probability of this head and shoulders actually playing out is it just starts diminishing every single day. So those are my two setups for today. I'm not really keen on shorts at the moment, specifically because the longer time frames are already indicating that we're in an uptrend. So I would be looking for opportunities to buy, and these are the two opportunities here. So a retest of 13442, look for price action on there, pin bar, inside bar, engulfing bar, or alternatively a break and retest of 13537, same scenario, inside bar, pin bar, engulfing bar on the retest, not on the break, on the retest. So I want the break, I want it to move all the way up, and then I want it to come back down and test structure somewhere here. Anyway, that's my view for today. I hope it helps, and we will catch up with you tomorrow morning. Cheers for now.